It was supposed to be a quiet night, the kind of night where you stare at the clock, sip stale coffee, and count down the minutes until sunrise. But at 2:13 a.m., the phone rang in. My life was never the same again. I worked the night shift at a small emergency dispatch center just outside town. Usually, late-night calls were nothing serious. False alarms, drunk drivers, the occasional wrong number. But this call was different. When I answered, all I heard at first was soft, shaky breathing. I started my usual line. "This is emergency dispatch. Are you in danger?" That's when the whisper came. So faint, I almost thought I imagined it. "Can you hear me?" It sounded like a child, maybe a young girl. My instincts kicked in. "Yes, sweetheart, I can hear you. Are you hurt? Where are you calling from?" There was silence for a few seconds, then a sound that made my stomach turn cold, a dragging noise, like someone slowly pulling their feet over a hard floor. A muffled sob followed. My heart raced. "Stay on the line, okay? I'm here to help you." And then the voice said something that made my skin prickle. "Behind you," spun around in my chair, my headset tugging as I looked over my shoulder. The room was empty. Just me, the glow of computer screens, and the faint buzz of fluorescent lights, and nothing else. I turned back to the phone, my mouth dry. "What do you mean?" Static erupted on the line, sharp and loud, making me wince. Then nothing. The call was gone. Jeff, my supervisor, came over asking what happened. I explained quickly, but when he tried to trace the number, it didn't exist. It hadn't come from any phone, any network. It was like the call was never made. I tried to laugh it off, calling it a prank. But for the rest of the hour, every creak of the building, every flicker of the lights, made my pulse quicken. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was nearby, watching me from just beyond the corner of my vision. At 3:06 a.m., the phone rang again. I hesitated before answering. My hands trembled. "Why didn't you help me?" The same voice, more broken now, full of pain. "I want to help," I said quickly. "Tell me where you are." The line crackled, and then came the chilling reply. "In your house. In your room." I froze. My house. My room. This was more than a prank. Someone knew me, knew where I lived. But that voice, it didn't sound alive. Before I could speak, I heard it, the wet sound of breathing right next to my ear, as if the caller was standing inches away from me, not miles. Jeff walked over again, sensing my fear. I put the call on speaker. Together, we listened to a low, unnatural sobbing, too deep and guttural for a child, but too distorted to be fully human. The sobbing turned to a rasping laugh, broken and wet, like something breathing through water. Then, in a tone that made every hair on my neck stand, the voice whispered, "Soon." The line went dead. We stared at the phone, neither of us breathing. A man who had worked 20 years in dispatch and thought he'd heard everything looked pale and shaken. I tried to finish my shift, but every minute dragged like an eternity. I kept imagining the voice, those feet dragging across a floor somewhere. At 4:12 a.m., I heard it again, not from the phone this time, but behind me. A faint scraping sound on the office floor. I spun around, no one there. But on my desk, right beside the phone, was a single wet footprint. Small, bare. I never worked another night shift after that. Now, whenever my phone rings past midnight, I hesitate to answer, because I know one day that same broken whisper will return. And next time when it says "behind you," I might not be alone.